Is this thing on? I guess so. Hail and well met, my friends. This is Kash from LoreForged.com. Today, we are going to talk a little bit about transparent development and how Intrepid Studios is pulling it off. Intrepid Studios has embraced an open and transparent development approach. They've done so by doing things like regular updates, their monthly dev updates, their office hours, their active forum, and social media. It is apparent that they care about what their player base thinks. Let me ask you this question. When was the last time you watched the development of a game that had such transparency as we are seeing with Intrepid Studios? That's right. The answer to that is never. If you've been in the MMO space for any time at all, you know that to be true. Now, the team at Intrepid Studios has built this open line of communication with their player base, and many things that have been changed over the years are a result of that relationship. Now, in my opinion, this is going to foster a very healthy and loyal community that will always have a tendency to stick with the game through good times and bad. Now, as we've seen with recent MMO development, we know that bad times do come. New world. Sorry about that. But it is apparent that Intrepid is listening to our feedback. Now, there were some things that have been said in the past by Steven that I think are quite interesting to hear coming from a developer. Steven says, player feedback is important. However, the identity and the vision of the game is not up for discussion. So when we talk about the core systems and tenets and philosophies behind what the game that we're trying to make is, we believe that the game we are trying to make resonates with a large enough section of the MMORPG player base that it is a sustainable and profitable venture for us to create that core game. Ancillary systems that live around the core philosophy of Ashes of Creation or the subtleties and what we need to do in order to make a particular system or feature better, that we want to collect player feedback. So we really don't have a say in everything, and that's good. That's how it should be. That's how the game is actually going to get to an end state where the game will be in a place to be released. If you were to take thousands of opinions on how every system should be implemented, the game would never be finished. Steven's core vision and the systems will stand. Just like I said, that's how it should be. Now, how some of those systems may be improved upon may change based on our feedback. That's why it's so important. If you have a criticism, make that criticism constructive. Don't bring problems. Bring problems with solutions. Another thing Steven says is that the delicate blend between a transparent development process, but also understanding that the majority of your player audience will not grasp or will not take into context, is what a work in progress actually looks like. This is why the community seems a little niche at the moment. MMO development takes a long time. It takes years. Lots of people are out there watching the development process in the wings, but the Ashes fam itself, the people who are actually showing up, feels relatively tight with the diehards right now. We're part of those diehards. All the content creators are part of those diehards, and tons of fans out there are watching the development of the game. But once the game is in the open beta phase, you will watch this community come alive. It will grow in leaps and bounds. Another thing Steven says is that I think we live in an age where it's easy to be transparent if you're not trying to hide something. The downside is if you're showing something that's not a completed or finished product, it is incumbent upon the viewer to understand that fact. And he continues, I don't answer to a board. I don't answer to a publisher. We answer to our players, and we try to be as transparent as possible with showing our progress and showing it in a timely manner. Now, I say all this to say, how blessed are we to finally have a developer like Intrepid Studios? From what we can see, they are building the next big thing. Mark my words, if they stay on this path, Ashes of Creation will be a big deal. The game and its developers has seeded themselves into a pole position of MMO developers willing to put it all on the line to deliver gamers what they've been craving. In short, keep an eye on this one. Safe travels, my friends.